To be brutally honest, Modern Warfare 3 is seriously awful. As a fan of Call of Duty since the MW2 and World at War days, seeing the state the Call of Duty franchise is in now is really sad to see, but also frustrating at the same time. Let's dive into why MW3 is so bad and why the Call of Duty franchise is getting worse. As always, this is my straight honest thoughts with no BS. I'm sure not all of you will agree, but you need to see the points made in this video, as I feel a lot of channels here on YouTube shy away from the true state of the COD franchise. So let's dive straight into this. First of all, skill-based matchmaking. This isn't a surprise. There are a number of reasons why I think MW3 and all the recent CODs have been seriously bad. Skill-based matchmaking is definitely one of the main issues with these games, and it produces issues of its own. For example, playing with sweaty players 24/7, which is the most overused statement by COD players, but it's overused for a damn reason. So for those who don't know, skill-based matchmaking is where the game does its best to only put you in lobbies who have similar, if not better, stats than you. This is to keep things competitive and to stop noobs from being obliterated. It sounds like a good idea on the surface, but for years, players have complained about it countless times, as it becomes the reason you either give up playing or just lose interest altogether. Playing a game of COD should not be a sweat-infested 10 minutes of hell where you can't sit back and relax. Now don't get me wrong, you can say, just shut the hell up you utter donk, and sit on the other side of the room where your TV's about 20 miles away and don't really care about trying. Just play it. Enjoy yourself. Yes, you can say that, but be prepared to be killed countless times. And let's be honest, I myself, and lots of you out there, don't exactly enjoy being killed by absolute sweats over and over. There's no point playing, and lots of players out there combat this by camping, which we also complain about. Now, if you strip everything away from Call of Duty, the point of playing it is to get as many kills as possible with as fewer deaths as possible. You want to be top of the leaderboard. Skill-based matchmaking has made it impossible to just hop on and enjoy it. Instead, you are forced to drench your controller in sweat and try hard beyond belief, unless you don't mind being obliterated over and over, or don't mind camping in a corner like an utter knob.
I spawn and there's gas! I spawn and there's gas in my face, bro! And we are getting Dude! Oh my god, dude,
The older CODs never had this issue. Yes, you might get the odd noob in your game who will only get 1 kill and 56 deaths, and I do slightly feel bad for those people, but as they play more and more, they're going to get better at the game. You don't need to punish the whole player base and make their games a COD tournament with your nan's life on the line. Allow some variety. There has to be some sort of skill-based matchmaking system here, and those who say get rid of it entirely haven't thought it through properly. Older games like Black Ops 2 and MW2 back in the day did not have as many highly skilled players as we do now. That is a fact. So there does have to be some sort of arrangement. But whatever system they have been using for the last few years clearly doesn't work. So please change it. Making the skill-based matchmaking more relaxed might be a start, but I seriously think it needs redesigning. Now that we've got that out of the way, let's move on to the next point. No innovation. This is a huge factor, and it sums up Call of Duty in the last 5 to 8 years. Think about it. Everything about these games is exactly the same. They reuse old maps, which were in old games 10 years ago. They reuse characters who were in the old games 10 years ago, and it's got so bad now, they even reuse the titles from 10 years ago, which makes things confusing too. As soon as you mention the old titles like MW2, people get mixed up with the recently released MW2. So now you have to state, I'm talking about the 2009 release. Why do we not have new maps which are actually well designed? Why do they have to keep remastering old maps in every single Call of Duty release? Why aren't there new characters that are actually interesting and written better than the ones 10 years ago? If anything, the campaign has never topped or got close to the stories in the classics. This should not be the case.
Welcome to Pull the Trigger 101. Private Allen here is going to do a quick weapons demonstration to show you locals how it's done. No offense, but I see a lot of you guys firing from the hip and spraying bullets all over the range. You don't end up hitting the damn thing and it makes you look like an ass.
Call of Duty needs innovation. It should not need to rely on the past. It should be making new memories and be its own thing. What happens 10 years from now? Do they just keep reusing old maps, characters and titles? Surely not. MW3 is lazy. There is something about the new Modern Warfare 3 that I think people haven't spoken enough about. This game is literally MW2. It's seriously a $70 update. The game mechanics are exactly the same, the menus are the same, and it's the laziest release in Call of Duty history. And the reviews for the game say it all. They've essentially merged MW2 and MW3 together. It's hard to even tell them apart. The menu screens are also linked, and I've never seen two Call of Duty games get merged together like this. And to name it after an absolute classic Modern Warfare trilogy, it's an absolute insult. This should have been an update for MW2. It doesn't deserve to have its own title. If this is a sign of what's to come, I'm seriously worried. What happened to every COD release having its own unique look and feel? That has seemingly vanished. The campaign. I think the less said about this, the better. I'm sure a lot of you know already, the campaign in this game is terrible. It's actually one of the worst campaigns ever in Call of Duty history. Not only is it really short, it's boring as hell, and as mentioned previously, they are once again reusing old characters from previous Call of Duty games because they aren't able to make new characters that are interesting. It's the same old stuff, and I could only play about 2 or 3 missions before I had to turn it off. It is that bad. I'm not really too bothered about campaign in Call of Duty games anyway, as in my opinion, they've been bad for a number of years, so I'm never expecting a really good story. But sadly, once again, it falls from the mark, and this isn't a game you want to get if you care about the story mode and only want to play it offline. Microtransactions. Oh boy, here we go. I understand that not just Call of Duty take the mickey out the mouse by tempting players with in-game purchases. But come on, what the hell has COD become? You can literally run around as bloody Nicki Minaj or Lionel Messi, for Christ's sake. It's almost like they are trying to copy Fortnite by adding in the most ridiculous skins to rob the arse of little kids. This ain't Fortnite, this is COD. It's supposed to be a somewhat serious game that replicates war, and $10 for a skin. $10. I remember paying around $10 for a Zombies DLC map pack back on World at War and Black Ops 1 back in the day. That was when in-game purchases were acceptable and worth buying. Now, the game is an utter joke, and it still pisses me off when I get killed by some bloke with a dodgy skin on and a gun that shoots out pink fireworks. What in the hell has this game become? Surely they can make the same amount of money from microtransactions by not chucking out this utter crap. I just think these games have turned into a bit of a joke, and are trying to replicate what other games are doing, but implementing them badly. And I've never really seen any other channels talk about it. Zombies. This really does deserve a video of its own, as I could talk for hours about how Zombies has seriously gone downhill. Like the video if you would like to see a full video on this. But to sum it up, when Zombies was first introduced in World at War back in 2008, it was a major hit, and they did develop the mode well in Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2. But in true Call of Duty fashion, the mode was copy and pasted with little innovation, and the changes they did make, for example, making it less serious and making it easier to play, just ruined the mode over the years, and it's been tarnished because of it. I personally think the last game to do Zombies correctly was Black Ops 2, and that was in 2012. Since then, it's just got more and more silly and way too easy to play. In MW3, the idea of Warzone, but with zombies, sounds cool, but after one game, it's kinda boring and lackluster. I would much prefer to load up a game of Kino on Black Ops 1.
No power, just like home.
But for people out there who haven't played the classics, I cannot blame them for thinking it's fun in the newer games, as they haven't really experienced the original Zombies to know how bad it's become. But discussing all of its issues truly does require a whole video. But overall, Zombies in Modern Warfare 3 really isn't that great, and it gets boring rather quickly. Gameplay. So is the actual gameplay bad when you play in multiplayer and when you're in gunfights? No, it's not. It's not bad. I mean, I don't actually think the engine in Call of Duty is bad. The game does play well, and I think it's one of the few factors in these games which is actually really good. But unfortunately, the other factors we have explored are the things that let this game down, and all the ones that came before it. It doesn't matter how well the game actually plays, if you've got terrible maps, the horrific skill-based matchmaking system, an awful campaign, and a boring zombies mode, it's still going to be a bad game. So, should you play Modern Warfare 3? Look, regardless of everything said, and all the flaws I've missed, and I'm sure you can remind me of them in the comments, I still play these games. Maybe because I've been playing these games since the early days, like I'm sure a lot of you have who are watching this video. Maybe I'm hoping one day we buy the game and it's actually innovating. I don't know, but I still play them every year. Although, I do normally get bored within about 1 to 2 months of buying it and only play them every now and then. But overall, I can't not recommend playing this game, as they still offer something, despite it being miles below what the classic Call of Duty's provided. But I do 100% recommend waiting and not buying the game full price, as it is not worth $70 whatsoever. Getting it on sale would be the best option. As for the future of Call of Duty, things need to improve, and if they don't, I do worry that these games will seriously drop off in years to come. Even the sales now seem to decline year after year. But do let me know in the comments below what you think of the current state of Call of Duty, as I'm sure there will be a lot of original fans of the series watching this video who can give some interesting takes in the comments. And if you would like to find out what changes have been made to Assassin's Creed Mirage in 2024 and whether the game is now worth playing or not, just go ahead and click the card on screen. It's definitely worth checking out. Thank you guys for watching as always, and have a great rest of your day.